Hi guys, welcome to another video. In this video, I'm going to be talking about an awesome Node.js library called Puppeteer. I've already made a video on web scraping with Node.js a couple of years ago, but that includes a Cheerio module of Node.js. Cheerio doesn't actually scrap the data in a way if the website is developed with single page app like with Angular or React. This tool Cheerio used to scrap the data for the websites that is built with the static HTML, PHP, JavaScript, and these languages, but not with JavaScript single page application frameworks. Okay, Puppeteer actually can scrap the data for both the single page application as well as the static web application built with simple vanilla JavaScript. Okay, so I'll be talking about the best practices using Puppeteer. What are the different ways we can use? So let's get started. I've opened up an IDE VS Code and it contains nothing as of now. So I'll start off from scratch. So first of all, I will create a package.json file to install few libraries to actually scrap the data from a website. Okay, so I will use npm init and it will initialize a file package.json, and then I will install libraries. So I will hit enter. Make sure you have installed node in your system, latest node, and once you install node, npm will be automatically installed. Okay, so all right, so once the node is installed in your system, open up the terminal or the VS Code. Use the terminal of built-in of the VS Code, and then you can run the command npm init. It will create the file package.json in the directory where you are at the moment in your terminal. Okay, so the name, version, description, and these things. Okay, so now I need to install few libraries. First of all, I need to install npm I and Puppeteer. This is the one library that I will be using, and then I would need fs module to actually write the scrapped data into a file. Okay, and then I might need Lodash or I might need async library. So I will hit enter. So what it's gonna do is it's going to download all these libraries and install it in this particular project, and it will create a folder called node underscore modules to actually install these four packages as well as the dependency modules of all these four packages. So just wait for a few minutes until it install everything. So okay, so it is showing me an error refusing to install package with Puppeteer under the package called Puppeteer. Did you name your project the same as the dependency you are reinstalling? uh okay, so I need to change the project name. Actually, Puppeteers, the library name and the name of project cannot be same. Okay, so just reload this command again. Make sure you don't keep the name of the project same as any of the library you are using. Okay, so now you can see that it is installing, actually the downloading, and then it's installing all these libraries. So just wait, and you can see node modules folder has been created, and these are all the packages which are a part of these four dependency packages. So you can see in the terminal that it is downloading Chromium because Puppeteer under the hood use the Chrome headless browser called Chromium, and when we start scraping the data from any website, it actually opens up that web page and starts scraping the data, and it doesn't open the web page using Chrome browser. Instead it uses Chromium, which is faster. Okay, so if you have already Chromium installed in your system, then you don't need to install this Puppeteer module. Instead you can install Puppeteer dash core module. Puppeteer dash core module doesn't come with the Chromium browser. Okay, so just wait for it and until it installs all these modules. Alright, so our packages have been installed. You can see that it has created this dependencies object, and inside it, it has added the versions and the name of those packages that I just installed. So before moving forward and writing code, I want to actually let you guys know that what are the things I will be scrapping. So you can see that this is the Amazon website, and let me just reload the default page. Okay, So this is the Amazon website, and this is the drop down that contains all these categories. Okay, so I will be scrapping all these categories, as well as I will be scrapping the links of these categories. So if we want to navigate to each category to scrap the data from within the categories, we need to have the links for each one to actually get the internal data. So to actually get the link and to actually navigate to the direct category internally, we actually need to select it and click on this search button. But there is a recommended way in order to get the link of it. You can see that now we are at the home and kitchen, and this is the URL we have for this home and kitchen. But we'll be building these links in a different way, and in a proper technique. Okay, so now let's get back to the code. Now first of all, I will be creating a new file. So I will name it common.js, and inside it I will be exporting an object that will contain all the static constant data. So I will be using module.exports, and here I will be having a base URL, and for base URL I will be writing https://www.amazon.com. Okay, so for now that's pretty much it. We only need to have this one key and this URL. Okay, so now I will create another file, and I will give it main.js, and this file I will be writing var common equals to require common. Alright, and now I will be importing, not importing, we need to require Puppeteer. So var lodash. I just want to let you guys know how we can actually load the libraries we have just installed. Okay, so now I have this common, and this variable I can use to actually get the base URL from here, and I will be creating another file, and I will name it scrapper.js, and this will contain all the logic of scrapping the data from the Amazon website. Okay, so now I will be importing a lot of things inside it. So var I will be importing first of all the main package Puppeteer require. So I will give it a name Puppeteer. Okay, so here I will get the common as well. So we have got it, and here I will be creating a function fetch main categories equals to, and I need to give it async, because for using Puppeteer and opening up any of these page we use await, and for using await a function needs to have an async keyword before it. Okay, so I will send a URL as well as the callback from my main file to here. Okay, so alright, now I will go back to main.js, and here I will call the scrapper function fetch main categories. Okay, so let's go to the main.js, and inside it I will write, first I will require that scrapper file. So var scrapper equals to require. So I'm creating all these files in order to let you guys know what are the best practices in order to write a scrapper using Node. So scrapper. Okay, so now scrapper dot fetch main categories, and here I will use the common variable dot base URL. Okay, and then I will send a data a callback actually. Okay, and from the callback function I will receive the data and response that will contain the boolean value true or false, if the data is correctly being returned or not. Okay, so it is giving me an error. This is saying okay, there should be a bracket over here. Okay, fetch main categories, let's put the bracket. What is left? This is the curly braces, and this is the one bracket, and this is another for this one. Okay, so I think that's fine. It is giving me some kind of linting error over here. Oh, alright guys, my mistake. Actually, I don't need to write a function because I'm using an arrow function over here. Okay, sorry guys. Okay, so now it should work. Now let's I'm going to write out if it is true, then I will log out the data. Okay, so I won't come back to this file now. I only need to write the scrapper inside this file as of now within this function. Okay, so guys, first of all, we have imported this Puppeteer, and now I need to launch the Puppeteer with the headless browser. Okay, so I will write const browser await Puppeteer.launch, and I can give it a value headless, and I can give it a false. Okay, and after that I can initialize the browser with a new page. So const page equals to await, and I'm using await because I used async operator before the function, and I can use the browser variable and I can write new page. And now I need to navigate to a particular URL, and that which URL I need to open in the Chrome browser, and once it gets open I need to scrap the data from it. So await page dot go to, and here I will write down the URL, and I need to wait until the page gets fully loaded. Okay, the whole content of this page should be fully loaded before I can start scraping the data. Let's say that I have opened up this URL and these categories are any of this content is not loaded, and I start scraping the data from the DOM, like I have inspected it over here, but it is not opened yet, so it will cause an error. So I need to wait, and Puppeteer provides us a way in order to wait. So in the object I need to write wait until DOM content loaded. If the whole DOM is loaded, and you need to wait until that. And after that, for actually DOM manipulation, for actually detecting the data that which element actually contains these categories, I can use the JavaScript way, like document.get element by id or get element by class, but I will be using jQuery. Okay, so I will write await page dot add scripting tag URL, and inside it I will paste out a script of jQuery, and you can just pause the video and paste it over here. Okay, or you can paste any version of it, make sure it gets compatible with this Puppeteer version. Okay, so now I can use jQuery to scrap the data. Now I can evaluate the page. I can evaluate the DOM of that Amazon page to actually scrap the data. So const result equals to await page dot evaluate, and inside it I can actually create some kind of variables to actually scrap the data. So var data equals to, and categories empty. So I'm not scrapping the data as of now, but I'm initializing a variable that will be returned to the main.js file. Okay, So now I need to scrap the data, scrap the category. So let's evaluate the page. Okay, so I'm going to right click over here, inspect these categories. So now I can see, if I just open up these categories, there should be the, like, we have the nav search drop down card over here, and we have nav search bar. Okay, so this select, let's open it up, and these are all the categories. Okay, so nav search drop down, this is the class. So what we can do is, using the jQuery, we can use this class nav search drop down and iterate through all of its childrens. So these are the childrens, and while iterating through all these childrens, we will have access to each of this option element, and then we can get the value of each of these option element from this DOM. Okay, let's do it. So over here, we can actually use the jQuery, and the name of class was nav search drop down, and let's get all of its children, and then iterate through everything, and let's create an object, and let's add an object over here, and we can access to each of these option element using this and text. Okay, so now it will iterate through all of these options, and then it will actually scrap the data within this variable. Okay, and now let's actually use the data dot categories that I have just created and push each object inside it, like over here. Okay, and after that I need to return the data. Alright, so now at the end I need to close the browser. I need to stop scrapping. So I will write await page.close. If I don't do it, the browser will keep opened in our system, and await, I need to close the browser as well. And lastly, you can see that I have sent this callback. I need to return the data that is being returned to this result variable, and this result will be added in the callback so that the main JS file can receive it. Okay, so I will write callback true. Okay, so let's save it, and I'm going to run main.js file now. Okay, so I will, in the terminal, I will write node main.js, and it should open up Chromium in my system. So you can see it has opened up. It will open up Amazon website now. So it is waiting until the whole DOM content is loaded. So it is still waiting because I added a condition. Okay, so is not defined, response is not defined, so there is an error, there is a spelling mistake, I think. Yeah, it actually returned the data from that function, but we had a problem over here, the variable. So I need to run the command again and see if it actually scraps the data or not. Okay, so it will wait for it, and I should see the returned data in my terminal. Okay, it's loading. It should have scrapped it now. Okay guys, that's awesome. Now you can see that all these category names have been added and returned over here. This is where I'm logging the data. Okay, so you can use the jQuery or even the JavaScript document variable to actually scrap the data and iterate through each and every element of it. Now I want to show you another thing. So let's say that I want to be in any of the categories inside it. Okay, let's say if I open up this baby, let me just scroll it rightward and I click on this search. Okay, so now you can see that we have all these items related to the baby store, and we have subcategories of baby on the left side, you can see. Okay, these are the subcategories and these are the elements. So I click on any of the subcategory, it should have, or maybe it will have a third level of subcategories, or maybe the fourth level of subcategories. Okay, so now you can see that I have clicked on this subcategory. It has further two more subcategories at third level. Let me click over here, and it might have further categories. So now it is third level. So I've analyzed these categories. It can have up to fifth level of subcategories. Okay, so in order to actually get the subcategories and subcategories and any level of subcategories, we need to navigate to that page. So for that, we need to have a URL of that category, the subcategories, subcategories, or any kind of subcategories. So we need to store the links of all those categories. Okay, so now through Puppeteer, it's not appropriate to actually open up this drop down, select it, and click on this search button to actually open up the specific category. Okay, but if we analyze the URL, we would see that there is some kind of similarity in each kind of category, and the similarity is that from here up to here it will remain same for all kinds of categories. Only the difference would be over here, and this is the name of this category. Okay, and we can append these keyword by ourselves in our script. Okay, so now let me just right click over here, inspect, and in the inspect, if I open up select, and you can see that the option has an attribute value. Okay, and the value have some value, and this value is being used over here in the URL. Okay, and I have opened up beauty, and this is the I have opened up, and this is the value that is being used in the URL. Search alias equals to beauty Intel ship, like over here. Okay, the only difference we need to do is here we have equal sign and we can replace it with percentage 3D. Okay, so this is how we analyze things in order to construct the URLs. Now we can construct all the URLs against each category to store it in the object, and once we construct the object of all these main categories, we can use the async or use the loop to actually open Chromium browser multiple times to navigate to all of these categories in their respective pages to further scrap the data from specific pages of these categories. Okay, so I'm just showing it for you to actually follow the procedure, what kind of procedure I can follow to actually scrap the data. So let's open up common, and here what I can do is main cat URL initial, and here I'll be putting the initial URL, and then main cat URL last. Okay, so let's open it up, and I will be copying it up to here. Okay, and let's paste it, and I need to fetch it lastly, and this is the thing that I need to append in the URL. Okay, alright, so it has been constructed. Let's close this file and let's open up the scrapper, and along with the text I can actually pass the link of each category in order to open it later on once we receive the whole data over here. And here we can again call another function to scrap the data from the within the category page. Okay, So now let's create it over here, and I think that we can do. Let's okay. So now I can use link, and I can use this common variable. So common dot main cat URL initial. Okay, and after that I can get the value of that value attribute from DOM. Okay, so I will be using this dot. This is the option, and I will select the attribute. If you know the jQuery, and the attribute is value. Okay, so I have now get the data of the value attribute, but there was a difference equal and percentage 3D sign. Okay, so we can replace it with replace equals to with percentage 3D. Okay, this is all we need to do. Now we can write common dot main URL last. All right, so I think that will work. Let me run the script again and see what it does. It should actually append the link along with the text in that object that we get in the return in the main.js file. So it's opening up main amazon.com. It is analyzing the DOM, and it is analyzing the categories. It is analyzing the option attribute called value. So okay, so it has actually gave an error, evaluation failed, reference error, common is not defined. All right, so guys, one thing I want to mention here, you all might already know how the JavaScript vanilla work, how the new ES6, ES7 syntax work. So actually within the page evaluate, we can't actually access the variables which are outside it. Okay, inside this evaluate function we can't use the variable like Puppeteer, common, or even the page which is outside this evaluate function. So in order to bring the reference of this common variable within this evaluate, what we can do is we can pass common in the function like here. Okay, and also this is where it is getting ended. Okay, the evaluate function, and here we can actually pass common over here as well. Okay, now this common variable would be accessible within this evaluate function. Okay, and I hope that it won't throw the same error. So let me run the script again in my terminal. So it is opening up Amazon website. It is analyzing, so no error up till now, and hopefully it won't show an error, so it should work. So yeah, okay guys, we have got the data, we have got the link, and yeah, this is the text and this is the link, and let me just copy this link, girls fashion. Okay, and let me open it up. If it actually works, hit enter, and it should open up a category fashion girls. So you can see that girls fashion have already been selected, and we have got these products as well as the subcategories of this thing. Okay, so guys, I hope that you have got the idea. And the last thing I want to let you guys know that how we can actually export this data into a file, into the CSV file, Excel file, or JSON file, PSD file, or anything. Okay, so for that we can actually use the fs module. So fs equals to require fs, and once we get the data we can actually use fs dot append file, and we can name the file. So categories dot json, and after that we can just pass this data. Okay, and the last one is the callback function. If there is an error, okay, if there is an error in appending the data, else if there is no error, then we can log it, console or log data exported. Okay, so let me just copy this line and I'm going to paste it over here, and error. Okay, so let me run the command again, and now we should have a file created with the categories.json on the same directory, and that will contain the whole data. We can actually convert this data into CSV format that we can open it in Excel file. You can actually learn about it, how we can construct CSV file. That's a separate topic. Okay, so what we can do is, it's not actually parse. Let me stringify the categories within this JSON file. Okay, so it will stringify. It was actually non-stringified categories, and this category.json file should have a proper list of text and link of each category. Okay, so now it has scrapped, and let me open up categories.json. And okay guys, you can see that, let me just format it properly. Configure, beautify, categories. Okay, all right, so now you can see that it has actually appended, it has not replaced the previous data. Okay, so this is the file that it has written over here. So you can check out all the functions of fs module. We can have a append file, we can have a write file over here that will replace the previous data that is already added in the file. So that's pretty much it. And one thing I want to mention here at the end, that I have given you a repository of GitHub, and in that repository, that doesn't contain only this code. That repository also contains the code that scraps the data of each subcategories of the main category, and that's not the second level category. That can check if there is any subcategories to any level. That can be the 5th level or the 10th level of subcategories. Then it will actually scrap the text of any kind of subcategory. So that actually uses async module as well, to actually iterate through multiple Chromium browsers and open Chromium browser multiple times at the same time to actually scrap the data from it. So you can check the GitHub repository in the description of this video, and I hope that you have got the idea how to write the code using Puppeteer and how to format the code in your VS Code using different files. Okay, so if you like my video, make sure to subscribe my channel and hit the like button, and comment below if you have any question.